Chaos.radio. Music, podcasts, entertainment.
Hello and welcome to the latest edition of NEWSWAVE, written, produced and recorded in the heart of Cornwall by the team here at Chaos Radio. I'm your host, Tom Howe, and I'll be guiding you through some of the insightful guests and exciting news content that we've enjoyed across Chaos Radio this past week. Now on today's show, we join Meah Howlett in St Dennis, where hundreds of people gathered for a special plaque unveiling, celebrating the community effort behind the restoration of the village church's historic bells. We also catch up with Cornish event rider Harriet Bunney as Bryna Jordan finds out more about her eventing journey, the grit that the sport demands, and her goals for the new season. As well as that, we take a trip to the beautiful Mevagissey, where Tristan, Netherton and Penny Bulkeley tell us about the upcoming fundraising concerts and how their Shanty Festival continues to make waves in the local community. We hear from Sue Ford at Wheal Martyn, who brings us the latest updates from Cornwall's iconic China Clay Museum and heritage sites. And we welcome Helen Barden from St Austell Library, sharing news on World Book Day, community events, and everything happening inside the busy town centre hub. Plus, Jessica is here with this week's Talking Health.
NEWSWAVE.
But first this week, hundreds of people packed into St Dennis Parish Church last month for a plaque unveiling that recognises everyone who has helped bring their legendary bells back to life. Steve Bradbury and others involved in the project say the restoration has truly united the village. And they're now looking ahead to their next challenge. Meah Howlett visited the ceremony to learn more.
NEWSWAVE.
Hi, I'm Steve Bradbury, and I'm one of the church wardens at St Dennis Parish Church, and also the tower captain for the St Dennis Bells and Ringers.
And you've been instrumental on having these bells restored and brought back into the church, and a plaque unveiling today. Tell me about the event that's happened this afternoon.
Well, the event this afternoon was to commemorate all the people, the wonderful people in the community that have supported this project to refurbish the bells. It was a community project. It wasn't one person, and the community came together to raise £64,000, and the bells were taken down, refurbished and rehung, and we just felt that it was good to have some permanent fixture there to commemorate that. So we were very lucky to have Johnny Cowling come along, and he unveiled the plaque, and it's got all the organisations and the individuals that raised the money and supported us for these bells to be ringing. And we've had a fantastic afternoon. There's been about 200 people here, and we've had lots of ringers from other churches, because although I said I'm a tower captain, I can't ring. I'm learning. So there's a few of us from this area, from this village, who are learning so that we can ring the bells. You don't have to be a church goer to ring the bells. This is a community space, and it's for anyone. If they want to come along and learn, then we'd be happy to try and get them in. And I mean, I can't teach them. I'm still learning myself. But I mean, hopefully we can get something going, and the more people that we can get ringing, the better. I mean, it's a great social thing as well. Here we've had loads of cake, loads of tea and coffee. It's been brilliant. There's so much cake. It's unbelievable. So if you like cake, I suggest you join a ringing group.
And we can hear some of the bells behind us now. It's really heartening to see so many people that want to learn how to bell ring, and it's all ages, isn't it, that want to get involved?
Oh, it certainly is. You know, from youngsters, I mean, I don't know how young you would be to learn, I suppose about 10 maybe, that you can ring the bells right up to in your 90s if you're still fit and able. It's a great thing. It's a great activity. It's good for the mind. It's good for the body. Good for your well-being. That's the in thing at the moment, isn't it? Well-being, mental well-being. Come and ring bells.
Amazing. And as you said, this church has been packed this afternoon. So many people coming out to support the project, and they've been doing that all the way through, haven't they?
Oh, they have. I mean, while the refurbishment was taking place, we had the church open, and people were coming up. They heard about it. They were coming in, having a look, getting really interested in seeing the bells up close. We were lucky enough to have a chap called Derek Williams, who's our photographer. He's documented the whole process, and we've got a fantastic book at the back of the church with his photos. This afternoon I was also taking a few people up into the tower in between ringing to show them the bells close up. It just sparks an excitement in people.
And what do you think something like this shows about the community here that you have in St Denis?
St Denis community are absolutely amazing. I was very, very worried at the start that the area needs money. There's lots of things in the area that we need money for. I was very sceptical that they would want to raise money for the bells, but in the end, the whole community has been behind us. I walk around the village and people will say, "Heard the bells ringing? It's great. Oh, really lovely hearing the bells ringing." Yeah, I mean the village has been fantastic. It really has.
Hello, my name's Patrick Penny and I'm representing the Ironmongers Company. We were asked by the church here to make a donation to the restoration work for the bells in the church, and we were able to donate £10,000 or just over that to help with the iron framework which holds the bells together. So absolutely delighted to be part of the project and stunned by the response that it's had within the village.
It is such a buzz in the church here today. I can imagine people can literally hear how busy it is. So obviously your donation funded directly some of that iron work that happened up there. And I imagine that's really important for you to keep that heritage in communities like this across Cornwall and beyond.
It really is. We're absolutely delighted to be able to support the church in this work to renovate the iron framework here. And what's fantastic also for us to see, not only to see historic iron to be commemorated and restored, but also to see the social effects it will have into the communities. And it is incredibly moving to see so many people here because they have been inspired by this journey that's happened within the church. So it's just a privilege and an honour to be part of this today.
And some people might not be aware of the work that you do, and you are able to help out so many different projects across the UK. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Ironmongers is one of the great 12 livery companies, although there are over 150 different livery companies in London. We were set up in the 15th century to protect and make sure that iron that was supplied within the City of London was of the right quality and the right status. And all the other livery companies, and there were a variety of them. There were skinners, there were gold makers, there were all kinds of livery, woolmen, people who manufactured carts. And they all came together, almost like trade unions, to make sure that people were looked after and the quality of the products were of a reasonable type. Now, because we've been going so long, and a lot of the livery companies have been going so long, we have developed significant charitable reserves over the years. So we're lucky enough to be able to make donations of over £1 million a year to fantastic projects throughout the country. And so coming down to Cornwall to see this happen is absolutely amazing. And we are always looking for iron projects or for STEM projects or for educational projects for disadvantaged children. So if you do know of anyone who is in that situation, please apply. We'd love to hear from you. Just look at the Ironmongers website. It's called The Ironmongers Company. Search for us on Google. We will come up as one of the top hits. There's a really clear button with charities on it, and the application process is all laid out there. But we would love to hear from you. And then if you need any help with the application, we can assist that. We've got full-time staff helping with charitable applications, and said, we have the money to give, we want to make sure it goes to good homes. So please reach out to us if that's of interest.
I'm Johnny Cowling, an entertainer who's been asked to come over and unveil the plaque today at St Dennis.
And we saw that moment. I mean, Steve, who's led the project, you could see the emotion and how much it means to him and the community. Why did you want to be part of this today?
Well, one of the first do's I ever did as an entertainer was in St Dennis. So I've always had a very fond memories of St Dennis, and then I was approached to come over. Would I be interested in unveiling the plaque, which I thought is wonderful, because like you say, the work that's gone into this is incredible, and there's such a tight community. And myself as a proud Cornishman, this is exactly what Cornwall is all about. Community. They've worked so hard, tirelessly, as you know, to get these bells up and running, and they were going to be condemned, which I find so sad. So, and churches, I think, are such an important part of the community. So to be part of it, it was a no-brainer. Yes, I will be there Sunday afternoon, and beautiful tea and cake, which sold it, to be honest. Yeah, forget the bells, lovely splits with jam and cream. So yeah, it's just wonderful. Quite an honour to be asked, to be honest, you know.
I know that you like to keep busy, Steve, so you've already got something in mind for your next project. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yes, the next project is the church doesn't have toilets inside. We have a toilet which is in the corner of the church graveyard, and it also in a small building that is the oil store. It's full of spiders. The door doesn't fit properly. You have to go through the churchyard to get to it. It's not wheelchair accessible, and we want to refurbish that. So we're in the process now of, we've had a couple of quotes from builders, and I'm looking for another £50,000 to refurbish it to make it an accessible toilet. I mean, it's not just people that come to the church. We have people come up here for walks. They come walking around the church. We have things for the village that happen on the village green. The school come up here and do some of their curriculum. They use the village green. We need to have an accessible toilet. I mean, it just goes, it's a no-brainer. We need an accessible toilet. So my next project is to raise £50,000 to refurbish the toilet that we've got.
And if people are hearing this and they want to get behind it or they want to support you, is there any way that they can do that?
Yes, I mean, search St Dennis Church. You'll find we've got a Facebook page. You can go on there and leave a message. We'll get back to you. We've also got a Facebook page for the St Dennis Bells and Ringers. You can leave a message on that. Or come up to the church. You'll see my name and numbers on the front door of the church. Give me a call. I'm close to the church in the village. If I'm around, I'm always happy to open up and show people around and show them what we need. So, by all means.
And I imagine, are they the same ways to get in touch if people want to volunteer or even start bell ringing?
Yeah. I mean, that's the easiest thing, is to contact us via the Facebook page. Just search St Dennis Church or St Dennis Bells and Ringers and just leave a message, and I'll get back to you, or one of the team here will get back to you.
And finally, when you were doing your speech at the start, I could see that though you were quite emotional with everything that's happened. I imagine it's been quite a long project, so many hours and days and people involved. Can you finally just reflect on how you feel coming to the end of this?
I don't know what happened there. I seem to have a little frog in my throat. I joked with Johnny Cowling afterwards that I used to do musical theatre, so I'm used to being on stage, but for some reason it got to me. I think it was just the fact that there were so many people here, and everyone was so pleased that we'd managed to complete this project, and it was lovely to hear the bells ringing. And it's just the comments from people that they just supported us wholeheartedly. It just got to me a little bit, I think.
NEWSWAVE.
Now, how much do you know about the world of eventing? It's a sport that's often described as a triathlon on horseback. Wow. Bryna Jordan caught up with Cornish event rider Harriet Bunney to talk about her journey in the sport, the mental and physical toughness it demands, and what's next for her as the new season gets underway.
NEWSWAVE.
I'm very lucky that my mum and dad also ride horses. I basically was riding horses before I could walk. Within a couple of weeks old, I was placed on top of a horse and wandered around whilst being held onto. And then I got my first pony when I was 2. I've just always had the love for them. I started eventing when I was about 13. I was quite nervous when I was younger. I had a bad fall the first time I ever jumped and broke my arm, and I was about 5 then, so it took me a couple of years to get back to it. But then I got this pony and he was really cool and just went, I'll do it and do everything. So we started eventing, and then it's just grown from there, really. It's a bit addictive. But I've always been around horses, and living on the family farm, we were surrounded by animals, so used to horses. And I'm very lucky that we used to come over here and help with their horses. I've ridden a couple of theirs a few times.
And from what I understand, eventing is kind of like a triathlon for horse riding, isn't it? Can you explain a little bit about what it is for those that might not know?
So it's 3 disciplines. So it's dressage, show jumping and cross country. So it's a bit different to like the other equestrian sports. They're very specific. Like you have just dressage and just show jumping. So this one you have to be good at all of them. Yeah. If you do well in the dressage but do badly in the cross country, you can go from first to last, or if you do really bad in dressage, really good cross country, you can go from last to first. So like it changes within a day. You can be at the top or the bottom, or you've got to be quick to react, and you've got to have that bond with the horse. And you're asking them to do completely different things, look really nice and pretty and calm in the dressage, and then go really fast to get around the cross country in time, and then pick their feet up and be really athletic in the show jumping. So it's they've got to trust you, you've got to trust them. I would say, I mean, I obviously do it, so I'm a little bit biased, but I would say it's probably one of the harder disciplines within the equestrian world, because it's so varied, and you've got to. There's so much more training to it and fitness, and you and the horse both have to be fit and able to get round. So it is quite intense, but
it must take an incredible amount of skill, because like you said, they're all 3 very different kind of disciplines within horse riding. How did you figure out that you were just kind of good at all 3, or has it come from kind of years of working up to it?
I definitely wasn't good at all 3 when I started. I loved cross country, and they used to do just pure cross country, where now it's to do cross country you have to event. So that's basically the only reason why I started eventing, because I loved the cross country and was okay at show jumping but really bad at dressage. I would always be last after dressage, and then my pony would go double clear inside the time, so we'd bump up, and then sometimes he would win or come second after that. And then I just was then like, I need to be better. I'm quite competitive against myself and always want to be better. I then have worked really hard on my dressage. Now I'm like, cross country is definitely still the favourite, but show jumping and dressage I'm a little bit more even now, so I can get a decent score to then set me up for the rest of the day.
What kind of challenges have you overcome along the way to where you are now from when you first started doing eventing?
Mentally, it is definitely a lot, and the biggest challenge for me has been that mental block that you get sometimes with day in, day out having to do it. With the weather, you still have to be out there, you still have to train, look after the horses, and it's a very good leveler. Like one time you'll be going really well, and then you can one tiny little mistake and then you're down. I've been in first before, and then one pole and then you're down to like 20th. So it's like the mental thing of, okay, never mind, like you have to move on. And like dressage, you get different movements and you're marked for each movement. So if you do one movement bad, then that can be a bad mark, but then you've just got to put that out of your mind and go to the next movement, because you could then get a really good mark. I do struggle with mental health anyway, so then you can bring yourself down a lot. And also with dressage, you get a sheet back of the judge going, well, you did this well, but you didn't do this well, and try harder on this, and then that can kind of chip away at you some that criticism, I guess, sometimes. And I know I'm going in there to do that, but sometimes when you see it written down on paper, it is a little bit more like,
it's like a hit.
And if you've got your own little insecurities, then it's just adds to that. So I think the mental struggle, but I'm definitely a lot better than I used to be, and I'm a competitive person against myself, but not against others.
Yeah.
I just want to get better. So it's just using that mindset of, okay, well, now I know what I need to work on, and let's go and do that differently next time.
Is there still are you still learning as you are kind of growing through your career and your journey with eventing?
Oh, massively.
Is there always things to learn?
Definitely. There's every day you can learn something new, and every event. And I still have regular lessons and go to different people. I try and have lessons with some of the professionals as well, so that they can teach me what they've learned. I had a couple of weeks ago, I had a lesson with William Fox-Pitt, he's retired now, but he was an eventer. He's won like 20 something 5 stars, something ridiculous.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that was really interesting to see what he said.
Yeah.
So it's just, then they're still learning as well. They'll tell you they're still learning, because the horses as well, there's still so much that we can learn about them.
Absolutely,
and from them.
Yeah. With eventing, obviously, there is this, you've got to think about not even another person, but kind of another being whilst you're doing it as well.
And
it's
that
really
other being has a
interesting.
mind of its own.
Yeah, and you can't really... Obviously, we know, and you can kind of figure out different things from horses by their movements and things, but you're never going to 100% know, and you can't like talk to them and they talk back. So that must be really interesting to overcome.
It is, yeah. So they have a mind of their own. Like obviously, you get people that do like the racing, Formula One. You got motorcycle racing and bikes and things, but you're controlling that. If you fall off, it's your fault or someone else's fault. But where with us, like the horses can just go, no, I don't want to do it today. So it's like you never really know, and you're obviously doing everything, and we train them as much as we can, but if they don't want to do it, there's nothing that you can really do. You have to know your horse, especially to when cross country, and have that trust at going that fast. Anything can change within a split second.
Absolutely. How long have you worked with, firstly, how many horses do you event with? Is it one specific one, or do you have a couple?
I've got 2 at the moment. So I've had one for 4 years, and the other one I only got last year.
Okay.
So he's quite new, so we're still getting to know each other. We've not actually evented together yet. But my other one I've had since he was a baby, so I've brought him up through the levels, so that's nice.
You kind of know him inside and out, which is great.
He still surprises me. We were at a qualifier last year. We went down the centre line and he spooked at the dressage judge and ran back.
What's your bond like with your horses? I guess you've got to have so much trust in the horse, but also they've got to have trust in you, don't they?
Yeah, they have to trust you, because you're asking them to do these things that they don't know. Like you're asking, especially cross country, you're asking them to jump down a step. They don't know what's down the bottom. And show jumping, horses can't see straight in front of them because their eyes are on the side of their head. So they have to remember where the jump is. They see it from a couple of strides out, and then they don't see it when they're jumping. So they have to trust you that whatever they're about to jump isn't going to hurt them. So you have to have that bond with that. And I think, again, where eventing is different, especially at the professional level, to the others, like the show jumping and the dressage, they have more grooms that ride their horses and keep them fit for them. Where the eventers do all the work themselves, because the horse has got to have that trust with them to then go out and perform. And if they don't ride them at home, they won't get that.
Eventing is one of the few sports where women and men kind of are on equal playing fields. Have you noticed any challenges or any different supports from being a woman in this sport?
Physically, there's the strength. Obviously, the men who ride the bigger horses, it's a bit easier for them to hold on or to like move them around a little bit better. They've naturally got better upper body strength than us. So I do, and especially I'm quite a small person, so I do have to work on my strength and my core strength. I have to build up my fitness and my strength a bit more than others. We are very lucky that eventing between men and women is very equal. In the professional level, there are actually more men than women, but in the amateur level, there's more women than men. I find eventing is everyone is cheering for each other. They're not... Like, even at the professional levels, you see the friends, they've done their round and maybe they've had a pole or something, but then they're stood watching their friends and supporting them. And everyone just gets on and supports. And I think the biggest thing actually is people are more cheering for the horses than they are the people.
What's next for you in your career? Where's like the top goal? Where's your top aim?
My top aim down the line would be Babington Grassroots at 100.
Okay.
At the moment, I'm trying to qualify for the 90, to qualify for the regional qualifiers, which we nearly have. If we do well at that, then we'll qualify for the championship. So that's the main aim, yeah.
And when does the the eventing season start? Is it like all year round, or is it more of like a spring to summer?
So it's March to October. So the first one that's close enough for us, which is actually still Oxford, is the first weekend in April, because we don't have an event in Cornwall anymore. So I have to travel wherever I go.
Do you find any challenges with kind of sponsorship and finding maybe accommodation up to wherever you're going? I didn't realise that we didn't do it in Cornwall anymore.
Yeah, so we used to have quite a few, but they've all gone now. So yeah, so the closest one is Bicton, which is Exeter. That's like 2.5 hours in the lorry. So yeah, everything else is further up. I'm very, very lucky with sponsorship with Babs, who has sponsored me. I think it's like 10 or 11 years now.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's really long. I couldn't believe it. We worked it out the other day. And then I've got, over the years, found some more sponsors as well.
Yeah.
Some of them help towards entries, some of them help with clothing and things for the horses. So yeah, I'm very, very lucky. But in the amateur world, there's not many people with sponsors. I think because there's not much in Cornwall, that's helped me as Cornish brands have gone, oh, actually, this is a good way to get our name out a little bit, especially with us travelling so far. And then with accommodation, most of the places will have stabling on site, and then we stay in the lorry, but not all of them. So then it's a case of going on Facebook and being like, please, has anyone got a stable I can borrow for a night?
Because the logistics of that must be quite a lot to have to organise, because it's not only you've got to get yourself in and potentially like a team up there, it's also quite a large horse that has to come with you.
It's I feel like I'm organising a holiday every time that happens. So yeah, I'm very lucky. My mum always comes with me, and my friend events as well. So we normally go together.
Nice.
But then trying to find stables and somewhere to park the lorry, and then food, and it is a lot. And also it adds that extra expense as well.
Absolutely, yeah. If anyone would like to follow your journey as the season is officially starting at the moment, how can they do that?
My Instagram, Facebook and TikTok, I think, are all the same. It's HMB Eventing.
NEWSWAVE.
Right, you're listening to NEWSWAVE here on Chaos Radio with me, Tom Howe. Right, the Mevagissey Shanty Festival is sailing back this October, celebrating everything we love about shanty singing. Next weekend, they kick things off with a fundraising concert at Jubilee Hall in Mevagissey. Tristan, Netherton and Penny Bulkeley joined Cheryl Gordon to talk about that concert and the huge impact the festival has on the local community.
NEWSWAVE.
Meah Shanty Festival started in 2019, and it's all about bringing the joy of shanties, community singing, the Cornish heritage behind seafaring heritage, as well as Cornish folk songs all together in one place in Mevagissey. And we've chosen October because it is a quieter time of the year, and the festival helped to boost the local economy to see it through the winter.
Now, ahead of the main event in October, you're hosting a shanty fundraiser at the Jubilee Hall. What's inspired this, and is it the start of more fundraising events to come?
Yes, it is. It cost us last year £22,000 to put on the Shanty Festival, and we managed to raise that all through fundraising. And this is one of the concerts to help us raise the funds to put the festival on. So we've got 3 great groups. We've got Figurehead from North Cornwall, which is an all-girls harmony group. We have got Shanty Sam Wheatley, who's a solo shanty man, and also the Stuntsaws, which are our local international shanty group that Tristan is a part of.
What can people expect, Tristan, from the fundraiser night itself, the atmosphere, the performers and the vibe of the evening?
So we always try to make the evening a little bit, what's the word, eclectic, I think I'm going to use that word. You know, we've got a good mix of sort of musicians and things that we're singing there. So although, you know, rather than just having a whole evening of one sort of sound, you know, you've got Figurehead, which are really good at harmonies, etc. They do a lot of folk songs as well as the shanties as well, and possibly some songs that, you know, most people wouldn't have heard before, which is always quite nice to introduce, you know, new songs into your repertoire and things. You know, so we've got that fantastic mix of different sort of sounds. Sam on his own is phenomenal. He's just a bundle of energy. I think it's the only way to sort of describe Sam, really. And then you've got Stuntsells, who's sort of renowned really again for close harmony stuff. We're all male voice as well. So you've got a real change up as we go through the evening. The evening as well is sponsored by Celtic Brewery. So we have a great range of beers and things as well there, wines and other things as well that people can have. So it's just a really, really social evening. One of the things that I think we're very, very good at Mevagissey is rather than making it feel like you're coming to attend a performance, you actually become part of the performance, if you know what I mean. You feel like everybody's all in it together. And as Penny said, it costs us a lot of money to put on Mevagissey. So every penny that we sort of make over that fundraiser and the ones moving forwards, really play an important role to making the event in October.
I guess you're having the events to put on the finale of all finales, really, with the actual event itself. But also people are fundraising, but getting something back in return by some great entertainment.
Definitely. I think probably what positions us slightly different to other festivals is the fact that although we fundraise to put the event on, what we actually do is we then give away a pot of money to other organisations within the village. The aim of October was to try and put an event on where it's sort of a downturn, really, of the economy. In 2019, that was definitely there. In 2025, last year, we are actually the busiest time of year for every business in Mevagissey. Not only is it the busiest times for the pubs and the restaurants and things like that as well, but actually for the local economy, it's looking like we're pulling in somewhere in the region of about £750 to £1 million over that weekend. So it's positioned itself now actually to become a very important time of year. And also I think people that attend it also are very aware that that money that we do give away, it goes on then to, whether that's donated to the Feast Week to put on more bands or the Christmas lights to buy more lights. It's that constant drive of footfall into Mevagissey to ensure that the economy's there and everybody's okay. As you're aware, we don't subscribe to the sit your hand out for handouts style of things to try and ensure that the village works. We, as a village, work really, really hard to ensure that the economy's good, and it sort of carries on that way. We look after each other.
Now, are there any other events or activities planned to the run-up to October that people should look out for?
Yes, there is. In July the 11th, we've got a Shanty night at Wheal Martyn, which is a joint fundraiser for Wheal Martyn Clayworks and the Shanty Festival. And that's a great night. And then we've got our gala night on the Thursday before our Shanty Festival starts on the Friday.
I'd like to ask both of you this question. What's your favourite Shanty song? Penny's thinking now.
Penny.
I have lots depending who's singing them. The one that I really like is not a shanty as such, but it's Harry's song for Cornwall, because I like the woo in the chorus. But I love lots of different shanties, and there's such a wide range of shanties and shanty styles out there. I can't have an exact favourite.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm very, very similar to you, Penny. Depending on where you're singing, I think is probably the best way of saying it. So if I'm stood in a church, I would probably pull out something that would be a fantastic shanty called, is it Banfield's John Van Dan? And yes, that's upbeat. The amount of harmonies and things that we can put into it is phenomenal. And in a church, it absolutely rings and makes all the hairs on your arms stand up. If I'm in a pub, there's millions of them. I must admit, I really do enjoy Sam Leeds' Santa Ana, which is a nice shanty. It's uplifting. It's quite quick. And, everybody seems to love that one as well. So, like Penny, it depends where you are, I think is probably the answer to that, rather than is there one that you like the most?
Yeah, that makes an awful lot of sense, doesn't it? That something's got to fit in a particular space that you're in, whether you're quayside or whether you're inside a church or an historic hall. Any of that you could have a wide variety of songs that you could pull out the bag, basically.
Definitely. So last Thursday, we were singing at St John's Methodist Hall for the St Austell Music Festival fundraiser. And, we sung a load of shanties. From the beginning, one that we did was a very slow one, etc. By the time we jumped into Sammy's Gone On Board a Man of War, all the kids from the primary schools were clapping and stamping their feet, and the whole room just lifted. As you said, really, it just goes with that. But, obviously a highlight of that event that we did then was that Luxillian Primary School came up on the stage and we ended up singing Cornwall My Home. We sang it in English and they followed through singing it in Cornish, which was lovely.
Oh, that sounds like it was incredible. Now, finally, most important things. Where can people get tickets and what's the best way to follow up with updates and the festival and future events?
So you can get tickets from a link on our website, as well as links in our Instagram, which is at Mevagissey Fest, and Facebook at Mevagissey Fest. And our website is mevagisseyfest.co.uk.
NEWSWAVE.
Okay, moving on now. As the largest mining industry in Cornwall, China Clay has shaped the landscape and lives of our local community for more than 250 years. The rich history of the industry, which has produced over 170 million tonnes of China Clay, is preserved and shared by the dedicated team at Wheal Martyn, located within 2 historic Victorian China Clay works in St Austell. Each month, we catch up with the team on breakfast to hear about their latest updates, current campaigns and upcoming events. And this month, we were delighted to be joined by museum manager Sue Ford.
NEWSWAVE.
Last few months at Wheal Martyn have been very wet, as they have everywhere else. We closed for Christmas for 3 weeks, so we had that beautiful weather over the Christmas week leading up to New Year, and then it's rained, isn't it? So it's been interesting. Our cafe has been really, really busy, which has been great. We've seen lots of locals coming to see us, and in the gift shop. Site not quite so busy, but then people don't want to be outside in that horrendous weather. But no, otherwise good. We reopened again in the middle of January, and our locals are supporting us, which has been great.
Spring is coming and Wheal Martyn always has lots of things going on. What events and exhibitions or workshops can people look forward to soon?
Our exhibition at the moment is Cornish Unit Housing, which has been really, really popular. It tells the story of Cornish Unit Housing when they were built kind of as a sustainable, affordable housing in the war, and how they're still ongoing today. So that's there, and we're looking for people who've got stories of Cornish Unit Housing to come and add to the exhibition. So we thought we'd start with this, but we know there's a lot of local people that have lived in them or still live in them. So we're asking people to come along and tell us their stories as well. So that's going on until the 19th of April. We've got lots of pottery workshops going on. So we're starting with some introduction to basic pottery. That's been really popular. They're all fully booked. We're adding more dates in at the moment. We've got a pottery patisserie workshop, which is making little trinket pots that look like beautiful patisserie tasty items. So that's going well, but there are a few spaces left. So people want to get booking. Music, we've got our monthly Cornish music evenings. So we had Shanty Sam for St Piran's Day, which was absolutely brilliant night. Everybody was dancing and enjoying it. It was really, really good fun. He was great. The next one we've got For Sale, which is a shanty group. They're based locally and absolutely brilliant. The 10th of April, we've got Ivan Malt, who is actually not local to Cornwall, but he's an amazing singer and he's just released an album. And we very luckily got him coming to sing for us. So that's on the Friday, the 10th of April as well. So we've got 2 coming up this month.
It sounds like you're very busy, and I think what is really good that community is a big part of Wheal Martyn. Can you tell us more about your regular groups, like your Cornish speaking group, your Stitches art group, and the Memory Cafe? Why are they so important to the community in and around the St Austell area?
So we do a lot of community groups, which are proving really, really popular. At Wheal Martyn, we want to be a hub for the community, and we want to be able to appeal to everybody, to all sorts of tastes and all sorts of genres. So, on the first Monday of every month, we have our Cornish speaking group. It's Lwenda Gans Canowik. It covers all bases of Cornish speaking. You can know nothing and they will kind of bring you in and start you off, or you can be a fluent speaker and they will kind of carry on with that as well. They also do, on the third Monday of the month, they do a more in-depth Cornish speaking, which is for people who know what they're talking about, and kind of learning more. But it's just really been popular and a great thing for us to take on at Wheal Martyn, and our volunteers Di and Kim are absolutely amazing and so passionate about it, and so brought so many people on board. The Memory Cafe is the 2nd and 4th Mondays of the month. Gemma, our education officer, runs that, and again it's really popular, very informal, as much for the carers as for the dementia sufferer, but a really lovely environment to come along, have a cup of coffee, have a chat. There's always something going on, whether it's a bit of entertainment or whether it's talk or whether it's an activity. So they have been really popular and a really kind of nice thing to bring people into Wheal Martyn that wouldn't usually be able to come and join us. The Stitches group is growing hugely at the moment. So it's people who do different crafts. They bring along their own craft to sit around and chat with other people, and they can show other people what they do or learn what other people are doing. And again, it's a community group for people who want to get out there and meet people. They have coffee in the cafe, very informal, and really enjoyable. And we've also added a Welsh-speaking group, which has been surprisingly popular as well. I suppose the language, Cornish and Welsh language, kind of overlap. And one of our Cornish-speaking ladies, volunteers, also speaks Welsh. And that's been really good. And the Welsh-speaking group, I have to say, are the noisiest but the funniest. So when you're working on the desk, up in the shop, it's brilliant to listen to them.
I think it's also about creating that safe space for people, isn't it? That maybe not feel confident enough to go out of their house and get involved in different things. If they know that there's going to be people there that are going to support them and make them feel welcome, Wheal Martyn has that at the heart, doesn't it, of the community?
Yeah, absolutely. And all of our groups that come along, I think the Stitches group has always been in the cafe. They started off with maybe 4 or 5 people, and then people come for coffee and see them and think, oh, that's really nice. They're a really friendly group, so come back and join them with their craft. But absolutely, we're very friendly at Wheal Martyn, and everybody's welcome.
Obviously, volunteering is a really important part of how Wheal Martyn keeps going and running. If people are listening now and are going, oh, do you know what? This sounds like an incredible place. I've got some hours in my week that I would like to maybe volunteer and get involved with some of the work that you're doing.
So we've got all sorts of opportunities. So we have people who meet and greet, who welcome people when they come to visit, so they can kind of show them where the cafe is, the gift shop, tell them about the site. We have people who do guided tours, and that is something we could do with more. If anybody enjoys showing people around, we can get them to go out with our guides that we've got at the moment, so they can learn about the site, learn about the industry if they don't have any background in it. We have school groups, we have WIs, we have U3As, all sorts of groups that come along and want guided tours. So guides would be brilliant. If anybody out there fancies coming around and meeting people and talking to people, that would be great. We've got our curatorial team. They're a busy little team. They tend to meet on a Wednesday and get all sorts of things done around the site, as do our site team volunteers. They're always busy. We've got a 26-acre site. They keep it all looking amazing and have done so much work over the last 18 months to kind of tidying up rhododendron and making it more accessible and everything else. So there are plenty of opportunities. So if anybody's thinking they might like to do something, get in touch.
Having a passion for the Cornish heritage with the site that you've got, people can really feel at home and, as a volunteer, be valued at Wheal Martyn without a doubt.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. We've got all sorts of opportunities.
Now, just to remind our listeners out there, if someone wants to support Wheal Martyn, or by volunteering, donating, or coming to the events, what's the best way to get involved or to contact you, please?
So our website is www.wheal-martyn.com. Telephone number 01726 850 362, or they can drop us an email at info@wheal-martyn.com. So whichever works for you.
NEWSWAVE.
Right in the heart of St Austell town centre is its library, where alongside its books and other resources you may expect, is also a bustling community hub, with everything from talks and coffee mornings to crafts and a carers support group. There are opportunities for residents to get together, learn and to have fun. Here to update us on their latest happenings is Helen Barden, Relief Library and Information Assistant at St Austell Library, who started off by telling Cheryl Gordon all about their World Book Day celebrations.
NEWSWAVE.
World Book Day, we had the Seroptimus came in on the Saturday. They had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of children's books which they gave away free. So every child that came in went home with a couple of books free.
Did a lot of people get involved with this?
Yeah, the Seroptimus are an organisation that support the library and have done for many years, and they collected all the books. Then they come and they had, rows of tables for the children to have these books free of charge.
Yeah, what a great little project, and getting people reading as well, which is really cool.
Well, it's the National Year of Reading, and we're always trying to include and get people to read. It doesn't matter what you read, whether it's a newspaper, a book, magazine, just read, and it improves your vocabulary, it helps your brain, takes you to other places. If you can read and enjoy things, it's another outlet to another world sort of thing.
Absolutely. Now, Cornwall Libraries have also just introduced a brand new loyalty card scheme for anyone anyone who hasn't heard about it yet, can you explain how it works and what people can get from using it?
It's a bit like, when you get loyalty cards for going in to have a cup of coffee and things like that. When you come in, ask for one of these loyalty cards, and every time you visit the library, go to the desk and your little card will be stamped. And when you've filled the card up, you've got your name and card number on it, and then the details are put into a drawer, and then once a month, whoever's lucky receives a little prize, and it could be anything. It's just a bit of fun, and just to say thank you for coming in and supporting the library. It goes on for so many months, and then they start again. So like if we put our names, I put your name in today, it will come up for the next couple of months, and then it'll stop, and then you start again.
Now, since the loyalty cards have started, have you noticed any increase in visitors borrowing books or getting involved with the library?
Well, as you know, I sort of go, I'm not there all the time, but I think the numbers are increasing. I know St Austell especially, they have a lot of people coming through the door. We had the Forestry Commission were giving away free trees a couple of Saturdays ago. We had 580 people through the door.
Well, that's a lot, isn't it?
It is, between on a Saturday morning, which is open from 10 till 1. They had several people decide, yes, they would come in and they would join the library. So there are all sorts of things going on, people to come in and think, why haven't I joined the library before? Because there's such a lot on offer there.
Yeah, like drawing people in different ways, which is really good. You've also got a busy schedule of events coming up. And it's not just daytime events. You've got some great evening things planned too, including the Mayor's Charity Quiz, a family bingo night. Could you tell us a bit more about those?
Perhaps Chaos Radio would like to get a team up.
Oh.
So, why not? So it's the Mayor's Charity Quiz. It's on the 2nd of April. It's 6:30. It's teams of 4, £5 a head. Bring your own drinks and nibbles, but a pasty is included in the price, but you must pre-book at the library because we've obviously got a certain amount of tables and chairs we can put out. And then all the money that's raised will go to the Mayor's Charity. And then the family bingo, it's £5 for adults, £2.50 for under 16s, and then you get 6 games and a flyer. And again, bring your own drinks and nibbles and pre-book. The bingo is on the 13th of April, and that's at 6 o'clock. So that's quite a good charity thing. The other charity thing we've got running, and this is at Tyredreth, we've got a concert at St Andrew's Church, and we've got Harry Glasson, the Mevagissey Male Voice Choir, and the Champagne Ladies are all doing a concert for charity. A local young lady, when she was born with a hole in her skull and rushed to Bristol Children's Hospital. And now this young lady's grown up, and unfortunately she is not very well. She's got cancer. So we are all raising funds for the family to take part in the marathon in April to raise money for the Bristol Children's Hospital, Teenager Cancer Trust, and Cornwall Hospital Trust. So if anybody wants to come along, £6 a ticket, starts at 7, and it'll be a great entertaining evening. So that's that one as well. And then we've got another in the village again, a talk by Dr. John Mattingly, who is very well known in Cornwall and the historical and archaeological areas. She's got a new book out on churches. She's also going to talk about Cornish wells, and that's £5 on the door. Again. And then, of course, coming up the 23rd of April is World Book Night, and we've got a couple of authors in the library, again, at 6:30, and that's, again, it's £5 and you've got a pre-book. So, quite a lot going on during March and sort of April. We're always trying to do different things that we can, encourage people to come in, find out what the library's got on offer. And we always say to you, please just pop in. If you're passing, come on in. Have a look. If you've never been to the library, come in and have a look. And if it ever dries up, go out into the lovely garden at the back, if it ever dries up, and see what we've got there. We've got a new water wheel feature now as well in the garden. So lots going on.
Yeah, sounds really beautiful. Helen, it's been wonderful having you on Chaos again. Again, but we do.
Usually Chaos when I'm on there. Yeah.
Wow, just like me. And before we let you go, can you remind the listeners where to find St Austell Library, your opening times, and where they can get more information online, please?
Right, okay. So the library is a big glass building opposite Poltaire Park, and there's parking outside on the road, and there is a bus stop there. We're open Monday to Friday from 9 till 5, and on a Saturday 10 till 1. Any information you can either pop in, which is always nice. We have a Facebook page, which is St Austell Library. There is an email address, which is staustell.library@lis cornwall.org.uk, or you can phone 0300 1234 111 and ask to be put through to the library. People always like to see you pop in. If people want to go to any of the do's, you can either, if you're doing it online, you can ring up, you can pay by credit card, or if you come in cash, we don't mind. And if it's anything to do with Tara Dress Village in the history group, then they can email in search of taradress@hotmail.com, or give me a ring on 0775 934 9581, or contact you, and you're always in contact with me anyway.
NEWSWAVE.
And finally this week, talking health. Jessica discusses the importance of work-life balance for our physical and mental health, and how an employee's work-life balance benefits businesses.
NEWSWAVE.
With Talking Health, I'm Jessica Harding. Work is a huge part of our lives. It pays the bills, and the average person spends 35 to 40 years of their lifetime working. Recent research shows that 83% of workers now value work-life balance even more than salary. So what exactly is a work-life balance? It's about having enough time and energy for both your job and your personal life. When this balance is off, people often feel stressed, exhausted, and disconnected from the things that matter most. One of the biggest reasons work-life balance is important is health. When people are overworked and constantly stressed, it doesn't just affect their mood. It can lead to serious physical and mental health problems. Studies show that working long hours can significantly increase the risk of heart-related issues and burnout. On the other hand, taking time to rest helps us stay healthier and more resilient. Another key benefit is better productivity. It might seem like working longer hours means getting more done, but the opposite is often true. When people feel balanced, they are often more focused, make fewer mistakes, and actually perform better at work. So work-life balance isn't just good for individuals, it's also good for businesses. Work-life balance also helps prevent burnout, which happens when people feel overwhelmed and unable to keep up with the constant demands. Burnout doesn't just affect work, it impacts relationships, mental health, and overall happiness. By having clear boundaries between work and personal time, people are more likely to stay motivated and engaged. Technology has made it possible to work anytime, anywhere, but that also means many people struggle to switch off. Checking emails late at night or working on weekends has become normal, which blurs the line between work and personal life. That's why it's important to take active steps to protect your time. Simple actions like taking regular breaks, using your holidays, and setting boundaries around work hours can make a big difference. Even something as small as not checking emails after work can help you fully recharge. Achieving a healthy work-life balance is essential not just for success at work, but for your overall health, happiness, and quality of life. With Talking Health, I am Jessica Harding.
NEWSWAVE.
Okay, that's all we've got time for on this week's edition of NEWSWAVE. A big Chaos Radio thank you to everyone that joined us at St Dennis Church as their bells rang out again. To Cornish event rider Harriet Bunney, to Tristan, Netherton and Penny Bulkeley from Mevagissey Shanty Festival, to Sue Ford over at Wheal Martyn, Helen Barden at St Austell Library, and Jessica, who contributed this week's Talking Health. And as ever, a final thank you to you for listening and helping support local journalism to thrive. To catch up on all our coverage, as well as to check out our extensive back catalogue of interviews and shows, head on over to chaos.radio. And remember, if you have a local news story that you'd like to share with us, do email news@chaos.radio or search Chaos Radio UK across socials. NEWSWAVE has been produced and presented by me, Tom Howe, and is a Chaos Radio production for the Cornwall Community Media Network.
NEWSWAVE.
Chaos.radio. Music, podcasts, entertainment.